Grant, it's a pleasure speaking with you, and especially what we're talking about, because we're talking about what CBC does every year in helping indie artists and talent that we have here get to the next level with a competition and searching for great talent, Searchlight. How does it feel being part of something like this, and how does it feel being able to help bring Canadian talent to the next level?
Well, thanks a lot, Rudy. Myself and another producer started Searchlight a long time ago, back 11 or 12 years ago now, and it was always about trying to find the best that Canada has to offer musically. And so, over those years, we've discovered a ton of artists, and as is the case many times, it's often the artists that land, in the top 10 or top 20 that end up going on and doing really well. Some of them winning Junos, some of them touring the world. So it's really exciting to do it, and it helps out all of us. Besides helping the artists get to the next level, as you say, it helps us out at CBC from the regional level to the national level, because we're finding a new talent to play and to nurture and to follow along, hopefully to fame, fortune, and stardom.
This might be an unfair question, but who are some of the names that have been through this?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, probably this band is really interesting. They're from Saskatchewan. They're called the Dead South.
Oh, of course.
I think they maybe made it to 4th place in Searchlight a few years ago, and they have since become arguably the biggest export band out of Saskatchewan. I mean, of course, there's a lot of big artists out of Saskatchewan, but most of them are solo artists like Joni Mitchell, Buffy Sainte-Marie, Colin James. When it comes to bands, there hasn't been that many. I mean, there's Library Voices, the Waltons, but the Dead South have done so incredibly well at the Junos, and specifically with their touring, with their international touring. They go all over the world with their big black hats and their choreographed moves and their root sound. So that's one of the successful Searchlight alum. Another one is a band from a really unlikely location, from Iqaluit, Nunavut. They're called the Jerry Cans.
Yes.
And I think they made top 10 in the year they were in. And they have since, I don't think they've won a Juno, but they performed at the Juno Awards in Vancouver, and they've toured all over the world as well, as kind of ambassadors to the North, the culture of the North, the language, the music, everything. And then there's another artist, a First Nations artist originally from Winnipeg. Her name is Iskway.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and she's done really, really well. I think she relocated to Hamilton, and she released an incredible single a couple of years ago about the murdered and missing women. And so those are just a few of the artists that have gone through Searchlight that have gone on to really have great careers.
So how does this actually work? As we're speaking, artists and bands are going to hear this and go, some have done this before. Some are going to go, man, I didn't know about this. How does this work, and how do these artists get their music on this to hopefully be in that top 10 and 20 and reach to that next level?
Yeah, well, it's very simple to enter. So all you have to do is go to cbc.ca/searchlight, cbc.ca/searchlight. You have until January 28th to enter. I believe that's a Tuesday. And then basically all we ask for is you go to that link, cbc.ca/searchlight. Then there's an entry form. And what we ask is for a YouTube link for your song. This is a song competition. It's not necessarily, it isn't a video competition. It's all about the best song. But we have found over the years that YouTube is a really easy medium everybody understands, most everybody. It's very easy to upload audio or video to YouTube, and then it's very easy to share the link. And so we've done that, and that's how we are judging these songs, is through the YouTube links that the artists provide to us, audio or video, and then we go from there. And the prizes are probably really what drives the incentive for a lot of these artists to enter.
You got to talk about that, though, my friend, because those prizes are amazing. This is involved. I know there's recording sessions. You got to listen. You can, please.
Yeah. So we've partnered with our two prize partners with Searchlight are the Juno Awards and the National Music Center in Calgary, Studio Bell at the National Music Center, which is this brand new recording facility. So there is one prize, one grand prize, and this is all of it. So the first thing you get is a prestigious placement into the Alan Slate Juno Masterclass. That's in Toronto, and that is specifically geared to musicians that are ready to take their career to the next level. They get put into these master classes with industry experts to learn everything about, how to pull off a great show on stage, to songwriting, to the media, to the business side of things. It's an intensive week-long masterclass course in Toronto that culminates with a showcase at a club in Toronto. And then after that, you can take what you learned and you get to perform at the CBC Music Festival in Toronto at Echo Beach the last weekend of May. And then after that, you get a 5-day recording residency at Studio Bell at the National Music Center in Calgary. Now that is home to a massive collection of instruments, and the winner has access to all of those instruments during the recording. And then then the final thing is we're going to send the artist to the Junos in 2021, and they're going to perform at Juno Fest and take in all the Juno activities, including the award show. So it's about, there's several trips involved. And, if someone wins that's living outside of Toronto, they're going to be jet setting for about a year all around the country to collect all these prizes.
Okay, I want to add two things in. Number one, what you just mentioned about the Junos 2021. For those artists who are listening to that Junos literally will be the biggest of all time, because we're talking about 50th celebration. So the whole world will definitely be watching for that. So being part of that is amazing. And number two, they get to be interviewed by me, because I've interviewed practically every single one of the Searchlight winners and people involved. So there you go. There's an added bonus to that. I'm going to get a chance to interview all of them, whether it be at the Slate presentation or at the Juno. So there you go, added bonus to that. So to be part of this, you mentioned it before again, but before we wrap this up, I want to ask you again, where do we go? How do we make this happen? And how do we find those next stars?
Okay, well, the first thing that all the artists have to do is they have to have an original song that they're really proud of, that they think is a really, really great piece of work. It'd be handy if there's not a lot of profanities in the song, because we want to play the song on radio, we want to play it on TV, we want to get it out on digital formats, and profanity is still a no-no at the CBC, so there's a tip. But then get that song uploaded to YouTube, audio or video. That's up to the artist to do that. And once that amazing song is uploaded to YouTube, you go to cbc.ca/searchlight, very simple entry form, give us that YouTube link, and you are entered in the contest, and you will be judged equally and fairly along with all of the other artists from every province and territory in Canada that enter every year.
Grant, thank you so much for making time for me. And more importantly, thank you so much for what you and CBC does for Canadian artists in helping to bring those artists to the next level. When we talked earlier, all three of those artists doing extremely well throughout Canada and around the world. This is a launching pad. Searchlight.
Yeah,
this is what it's all about.
We like to call it the incubator. So that's what we hope happens, and it's a lot more artists than just the three I mentioned have gone on to do great things. So thank you very much for this, Rudy, and thanks so much for your support.
No problem, my friend. You take care. Thank you again for the interview. We'll talk soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.